Without any context or framework, a typical NDA can seem overwhelming. It is possible, though, to understand this important document. If you give me 5 minutes of your attention, I'll explain the common elements and give you confidence in dealing with NDAs. Here's what we'll do. I'll outline 20 elements of a typical NDA. I know that sounds like a lot, but bear with me. This is simpler than you think. We'll tackle several digestible chunks to quickly address the boilerplate and get to the core provisions that you should carefully read and understand. Ready? Here are the 20 common elements. Parties, purpose, affiliates, definition of confidential information, exclusions to the definition, obligations, exceptions to the obligations, return and destruction, term and termination, no reps and warranties, no transfer of rights, no obligations, remedies, governing law and jurisdiction, notices, entire agreement, severability, counterparts, assignment, and waivers. We'll start with the last section and work backwards. Elements 13 to 20 are all essentially legal boilerplate. Very briefly, here's the function of each section. The remedies section typically says that if you violate the agreement, I can sue you and ask a court to make you stop. Governing law jurisdiction says where I can sue and what state's law will apply. The notices section covers our formal communications. The entire agreement section, or merger clause in legalese, says that everything we mean to address is in this NDA, not in emails or past understandings. The severability section says that if one section is later determined by a court to be invalid, the rest of the document is still good. The counterparts section says that we don't need to both sign the same physical piece of paper. The assignment section typically governs our abilities to assign our rights and obligations under the NDA to others. And the waivers section typically says that a delay in addressing a breach is not to be interpreted as a lack of concern for the breach. There, that's almost half the NDA. Working our way up, 3 more sections can be quickly addressed. The reps warranty section typically says we'll disclose information as is, with no assurances as to its accuracy. The no transfer of rights typically says that the NDA does not create licenses or rights to the information other than to receive information for a specified purpose. The no obligation section typically says that neither of us is obligated to share anything. Over halfway now, let's pick off 4 more easy sections. The term termination section defines the timeline over which we'll share information and have obligations to each other. The return destruction section typically says that after we're done, we'll shred each other's information that is still in our possession. The exception section essentially says that laws and court orders supersede the NDA. Now we're ready to talk about the core provisions. The parties are the 2 or more people or entities that are exchanging confidential information. And the affiliates are typically related companies, consultants, or others who will also need to handle the confidential information. The purpose defines why the NDA is being executed, what the goal of the exchange is. The definition section describes what, under the NDA, constitutes confidential information. Exclusions define what specifically is not considered confidential information. Finally, the obligations section outlines exactly how confidential information can be used and shared. There you have it. Not so hard when it's broken down, right? In the next installment, we'll dig deeper into several of these elements and highlight specific points that you might want to think about and include in your NDAs. If you found this helpful and would like to see more of these videos, would you do us a favor? Please leave us a comment about legal or intellectual property topics that you'd like to learn more about. And also, let us know how you like this whiteboard format. Thanks. One final disclaimer. These videos are for your educational use only. They're not intended to be legal advice, and you watching this content does not create an attorney-client relationship with us.